So, I once met this guy who told me, we don't really need to travel anymore because we have TVs with such good resolution. I know this might sound a bit ridiculous, but I think we all believe this to a certain extent. But the fact of the matter is that this camera cannot even come close, and neither can any camera even come close to capturing the beauty of the surrounding area. If you look at here, there's a bridge, there's a red tree among green trees in the sky, and a castle up on top. And forget the feeling of being in this area. You can't even see what's in this area. You can't even see the natural beauty in the camera. And not to mention that I've got my daughter right here next to me, and the nice warm rays are really comfortable. It's just there's no comparison to being and living in the moment.
Hey guys, my name is Christian Osmo, and if you like seeing videos about relationships and relationship problems, advice, that sort of thing, if that's what you're into, this channel is for you. So hit that subscribe button below before we move on, and watch this video to the end because there's lots of great stuff. So what I want to talk today about is living in the moment versus living for your future. Children are really curious by nature. They sort of wander around. They really like this thing or that thing. When I see Malaya, she'll reach up out of her stroller, she'll grab a flower petal from something, and she'll look at it, examine it, rub it against her fingers, and she'll rip it apart like, it's nothing. And as soon as it breaks, she'll drop half on the ground, and then she'll rub the other half on her face, see how it feels, and then she'll put it in her mouth. That's usually when I step in. But the point is that she doesn't know anything about this flower. She doesn't know anything about this petal. And so she's really curious about it. She's living in the moment. She doesn't know a past. She doesn't really think about the future. She's only in the present. Now, we all start out like this, but somewhere along the line, we learn to love living for the future, love preparing for the future. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Living for the future and planning for the future is kind of the bedrock of human civilization. You think back to the dawn of agriculture. That's what allowed human civilization to thrive. So I'm not dogging on that at all. But what we've seemed to have forgotten is that the world is so much bigger, that there are things that we still need to learn. There are things that we still need to be curious about. And in order to do that, we have to live in the moment. So on one end of the spectrum, you have the child who is completely in the moment. There's no past, no future. There's only the moment. And on the other end of the spectrum, there's this doctor that I met in the US a long time ago. He said something along the lines of, you can be wealthy or you can do what you enjoy, but you can't have both. And he was trying to dissuade me from starting a business and stuff, so I can't knock him too much. He was being over dramatic with everything that he said, but he did make that point, and I had to ask him. I said, why do you want to be wealthy? And he goes, well, I want to have a lifestyle that I enjoy. And then he says something like, and I say, how long is that going to take? And he says, maybe 10, 15 years, I'm not sure exactly. I say, okay, what if I told you that you could have a lifestyle that you enjoy tomorrow? And he says, well, what do you mean? I say, well, you said that you can either do something you enjoy or you can be wealthy, and he's wealthy, but he doesn't enjoy his wealth. And so this whole idea that we need to be wealthy, we need to work hard for our future, is a bit cyclical. It's a bit contradictory, because he is working so that he can enjoy himself, but he's suffering that he's doing something that he doesn't enjoy. Now, there are plenty of doctors who enjoy being a doctor, so you can't say that about everybody and every time that they say that, but this guy did not enjoy being a doctor. He just wanted money. He wanted money so that he could afford the things that he liked. And the problem with that is that you can live a life that you enjoy without being wealthy. And I mean, to be honest, he was wrong. You can be wealthy and enjoy your life at the same time. There's nothing, it's counterintuitive to think that you couldn't do that. I think that everybody should live for the future. They should plan, things ahead of time. But there's definitely some balance. And I don't know that I have it exactly right, but I think that I come definitely closer than this doctor. It's difficult to say that by any stretch of the imagination that he had it right. So why would you want to find the right balance, other than the obvious cliche, you get more time with family and whatever else? Well, the first one is actually kind of counterintuitive. You actually get more done. I can't even tell you how many times I've sat in my house, written 3, 4, 5 different blog articles that all turned out total rubbish. I scrapped all of them and then came back, gave myself some time to relax, reflect, and enjoy my life, and then bam, it's like the answer just magically came into my head. You get there, you write it all out, you're done. The thing is, there's something really magical about actually taking that time to enjoy yourself, that balance that allows you to create better. And this isn't just for bloggers or just for writers, for example. They say that if you walk through the forest or whatever, you'll be inspired, writers, right? But this isn't just for writers, it's also for anybody. I used to be a web developer, and that's probably the first place that I really experienced this. I can't tell you how many times I've gone, sleepless nights trying to solve this problem. I've debugged thousands of lines of code, and I've done this and that and the other thing, when all I really needed to do was take a break. At the end of the day, I'd go home, I take a break, I enjoy myself, I go out into nature, I go to sleep, I do whatever I need to do, and then I come back and the problem is magically solved, or I solve it in 10, 15 minutes. It just happens. It seems like magic, but it's not. The answer is that you need to find a balance. So, how can you focus on living in the moment? Well, I can't say for everybody, because everybody's methods and everything are going to be a little bit different, but here's what I do. The first thing I do is I set long-term and short-term visions. And note that I didn't call them goals. Goals are a bit different. Goals are more words. Vision is a feeling. It's an emotion. And so I think about the outcome that I want, the outcome that I want to feel in the short term and in the long term. And the short term should be leading up to the long term. And so that is how I kind of set that. And every single day I work towards it. So it's really helpful for me to have like a time set aside during the day that I get most of my work done. For me, these last couple of days has been like really early in the morning, because I can just get stuff done, I can knock it out, and it's all good. Number 2 is I get the hardest stuff done first. And now this is a little bit counterintuitive. A lot of people say get this easy stuff done first, because they think that if you can get something done, it'll encourage you to finish it, to get more done. But what I've found is that as long as you're taking this method, you're trying to, you're doing really hard for a shorter period of time, it's better to get the hard stuff done. Because the reason that you want to get the easy stuff done is because you lack motivation. But if you're using this method, there's really no lack of motivation. As long as there's vision and direction, you're always going to get done what you need to get done. I put aside time every single day to rest and relax. And the reason that I do that is, pretty obvious. Part of it is like living in the moment, like we've been talking about, and part of it is that your body just needs to rest, it needs to reflect, it needs to solve problems, it needs time to digest problems that you have maybe been wrestling with all day. I like to structure my day. Now, everybody's day is going to look totally different, but I do like to work really early in the morning. I get it done, and the rest of the day I'm free. And what that does is it allows me to kind of just, have the rest of the day to do whatever I want. Having a structure to the day makes it so that I know, what I can expect to get done and what can, wait until later. And so as long as I have that structure, I have that expectation of myself and of what today's going to look like. The last thing is have something to look forward to day in and day out. Have something to look forward to week in and week out. Deborah and I, we always spend time together in the evenings, so that's something that I look forward to. We do it, without the distraction of cell phones and computers and that sort of thing, usually with just cuddling or sometimes reflecting on the day or whatever it is. Sometimes we watch a movie, to be honest. But the point is that that's something that I look forward to. There's nothing much more demotivating than working all day and not really feeling like you're getting much done, and then just going to sleep and doing it all over again. And so it's good to have something to look forward to during the day. And at the end of the week, Deborah and I, we do a weekly outing at least once per week, where we go out and just enjoy ourselves and enjoy Malaya, take advantage of the time that we have with her, because the thing is it's running out. And so, as much as I like to not think about it, it is running out. So that's it for today. If you guys want to see more videos like this, if you enjoyed, hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.